What is up, everybody? I hope you are having a great week or weekend, depending on when you are watching this video. Hopefully you are, I feel like I say this every week, but getting into the swing of things, getting accustomed to distance learning. I know it's not easy, but as I think I said last week, I've been enjoying looking at your work and talking with you guys, helping you guys out. So just keep up the good work, guys, and I look forward to seeing your work for this week. So this week of remote learning is a little bit different, and you can probably already see why based on the Google Classroom setup for this week. We will be doing a project this week. So I'm going to go ahead and walk through kind of the expectations and what exactly it is that you are going to be doing. So the first thing that I have, as always, is your Google Meet link. You can see that I have listed the link for the morning session from 9 to 11. And then the afternoon session from 1 to 2, and I will be available Monday through Thursday. We don't have school on Friday this week. Monday through Thursday of this week to hop on here and answer any questions about the assignment. Okay, so let's talk about the first thing that you should do. The first thing that you should do this week is watch the introduction video. Okay. This is the second week that it will be on Edpuzzle. Last week, you guys saw that it was uploaded there. So your job is to watch the introduction video and answer the questions embedded in it. It is so important that you guys watch this video, and I need to see that you have watched it and understand the expectations, especially this week, because this is a more open-ended assignment. Okay, so I need to see that you have watched this video in full and that you understand the expectations for the project. Okay, one of the things that I do want to talk about, there is no separate survey, like check-in survey this week. Because it seems like there was some confusion about that last week, so I got rid of it. So the check-in questions will be included in the Edpuzzle video, as opposed to receiving a link for a separate survey at the very end. Hopefully you guys like that format better, let me know. But I just felt like it was a little bit confusing. So you will still be getting credit for watching the video and answering all of the questions. So in order to get credit for this video or for this weekly check-in, you have to watch the video 100% of the way and answer all of the questions that are embedded in the video. Okay, so first thing, make sure to watch that intro video. Now, you guys have one task for me for this week. So I'm gonna go here, oops. I am going to kind of go through the project and kind of walk you guys through the expectations for this assignment. So this is your only task, as I said, besides the weekly intro video, which you are watching now on Edpuzzle. Okay, so what I'm going to do is click on the actual assignment. Okay, that will be the first thing you will do, is click on this Corona Kit for American Government. And the project itself is you guys will be creating your own political party. So I'm really looking forward to seeing your creativity a little bit, what you guys come up with. And the reason we're doing this is because we've taken a look at existing political parties. We've taken a look at the purpose of political parties, how people get their ideologies, what ideologies in this political process are, and now is your chance to create your own. So one of the things that I want you to keep in mind as you are working through this project is to remember that political parties are supposed to elect people to office, right? You're supposed to be appealing to the public. And I want you to keep that focus in mind as you are creating your political party. Okay. So one thing that I do want to talk about here as I'm highlighting it, this I feel like it goes without saying, your symbol, your party, everything that goes into your political party must be school appropriate. Again, it must be school appropriate. You would be surprised and shocked at the things that I have gotten on political parties and platforms over the years. Please don't do that to yourself. No one wants to have that conversation. Make sure it's appropriate. If you're questioning whether or not it's appropriate, it's probably not appropriate and don't do it. But please reach out to me if you have a question on that. Okay. So I'm going to go and go through what is it that you're supposed to do, then walk you through how you go about completing it. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know, right, is that political parties, as I said, are these organizations that the number one function of is to elect someone to office, right? They have a platform, they have a symbol, a slogan, they represent candidates or candidates represent them. You are going to be including all of those things in your project. So I have outlined in this section here exactly what it is that you need to include and what it is that you will end up being graded on when you submit your project. Okay, so the things that you need to complete are, first, you need a party name, a slogan, and a symbol, right? As you saw in that researching political parties, right? They had a name, they had a symbol, whether that's the elephant, the donkey, the owl, what have you, and a slogan, a summary or a catchy phrase that really stands out to voters, something that would help them remember what you stand for. Okay. Every political party also has a platform. Okay. And a platform, remember, are those ideas, those beliefs that the political party stands on. Okay. You need to choose 3 different policies and how your party stands on those issues. Okay. So you will choose 3 different topics and provide your party's stance on that particular topic. You may choose which policies you include, and I will show you this document here in just a second, but I've linked a list of sample platform issues that you can choose from to include in your project, okay? And I'll kind of talk about what that looks like when we get into this a little bit further. Okay, so you need 3 policy issues and your party. When I say your party, guys, I mean your, right? You are the one creating your party. Your position, your stance, your opinion on those 3 issues. You also need a candidate for your party for the 2020 election, right? You need to have someone that you are trying to get into office, and you need to represent or have someone that represents your party's slogan and platform, right? So this involves a little bit of critical thinking. This person can be fictional, they can be a celebrity, they can be a cartoon character, but it needs to be someone that is logically connected to your party and its goals, its platform. Okay. Again, they must be appropriate. Okay. So make sure that you are choosing someone, some cartoon, some character that is appropriate. Okay. And then your project, and this is where it's a little bit flexible, and I'll explain why in just a second. You need to include some images, photos, icons to make your project visually appealing, right? You're going to be choosing a web tool to complete your project below to represent your political party to the public. So it does need to be visually appealing. I need to see that you've put some effort into your project. Okay, so these are the 3, or not 3, I don't know where I got 3, the 4 big things, characteristics that I will be looking for in your project. Okay, now before you start creating your project, right, the question you're probably asking now is, how the heck do I go about completing this, right? I know what I have to include, but I don't know where to start. And that is always the question that I get asked. when my students do this project. So the first thing that I suggest doing is brainstorming. Don't just jump into this because you're going to have no idea where to start. Okay. So what I have done for step one is I have linked in a brainstorming document for you to help you and walk you through all of the things that you need to include in your project. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up that document here in a second. You do not need to submit this document, but it is a great way to begin thinking about your project. Hint, hint, right? It includes a walkthrough of everything that you need for that project. I guarantee you, if you send me an email or you jump onto Google Meet, the first question I'm going to ask you is, have you started looking at the brainstorming document? Okay, so if you are stuck at any point, you need to access this document. Okay, like I said, no matter what, I would jot down some sort of notes before jumping in because that will make your life easier in the long run. I've already put one together for you, so you might as well use it. Okay, so let's take a look at that brainstorming document. Okay, it will ask you to make a copy because I'm not going to attach one in here for you guys. So hit make a copy when that pops up. And then you will get your own copy of the document for you to use and type in to make sure that you have everything you need on your political party project. Okay. I really suggest, as I've said a million times already, using this to guide your research. Okay. Now, this is broken down into 3 different parts because ultimately you have 3 different sections that you need to include in your project. So the first part is your political party basics. Okay. Your political party needs to have the following 3 things. As I said, we were going through them. It needs to have a name, a symbol, and a slogan. Okay, so what I've done is I've given you an area to jot down and brainstorm some ideas. And I've also given you some questions and some things to think about to help you when you're coming up with those. Okay, now for your party name, think about, what do you want your party to be about? Will you focus on a particular topic? Will it be a particular theme? Will you target a specific audience? Right? All of those things are important when it comes to your political party name. Your symbol. Republicans have the elephant, Democrats have the donkey. What will yours be, right? One of the things is you can sketch this yourself or you can find an image online. It does not matter to me. Just make sure it's appropriate. Your slogan. You need to come up with a catchy phrase that will urge voters to choose you, right? So just like you saw in the research assignment, right, those party slogans need to be a short, concise statement that summarizes what your party is about. And usually they're catchy. Usually they encourage people to vote for them. Okay. So that would be the first part of the project, right? By completing this, you would have all of those pieces. Okay. Then is your platform. And this is like the bread and butter of a political party. This is what the beliefs of the party are. This is what the party stands on. Okay. So your platform will include 3 issues that are the most important to your party. And I've given you a list, and I'll open that in a second, or you can come up with your own. Your job is to research each issue and think about what your party's position and stance on that issue will be, right? So what do you believe? Okay, and you will give me an explanation on your project. You will need a minimum of 3 sentences per platform issue. So I am trying to avoid someone saying, okay, platform issue number 1, immigration, stance or position, it is good, and then the end, or it is bad, the end. Okay, you need to put a little bit more critical thinking and a little bit more research into this to get full credit. Okay, so I'm asking for a minimum of 3 sentences per platform issue. So in theory, you will have a minimum of 9 sentences for this section. okay? And I have this table here for you to help you get thinking. So let's take a look at some of the issues that you could pick from if you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, a platform issue. I've made this list for you guys, and you can click this and open this up. You can choose something that's not on here if you want. You are not limited to what is here. There are many more, and I've even given you a link to jumpstart some of that research. Okay, now something to note. Like I said, you have to choose 3 of these. I suggest doing a little research to make sure that you fully understand your stance on the issue. And I've linked in kind of like a pro-con website that has a lot of these issues on them. So that way you know what you're talking about and you know what it is that your party believes in. So examples, as you can see here, your party might have a stance on the death penalty, whether you're for or against it. Your party might have an opinion on universal basic income, whether you're for or against it. Combating terrorism, how is your party going to combat terrorism? Should the United States withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement? Yes or no? What does your party believe? So you can see that some of these you might need to do a little bit of research, at least look at like Wikipedia or a pro-con website to make sure that you understand and can give me those 3 to 5, 3 minimum sentences per platform issue. Okay, so again, this resource is here. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions on whether or not your platform issue that if you're not choosing from this list is appropriate. Okay. So that is part 2. And again, I've listed like a brainstorming table here. Here's your topic. So like, for example, here, I would say the death penalty. Let's say like my party has this particular stance on the death penalty. And here, if I can type, this would be what I think is, or, you know, you could start it off as we stand for ... Okay, or we believe that ... Okay, and you would give your position, your stance on that particular topic. Okay. There we go. The third part of your project is to nominate your candidate, right? Remember, the main goal of political parties is to elect a candidate to office. So you want your party's influence to be in the government. You want your ideas to be made into policy. So when endorsing and selecting a candidate for your party, you have to think about if they'd be a good fit for your party and its stances on issues. Okay, so I really suggest, again, filling this table out to get you thinking about a good candidate. So what you will need to provide for this section of your project is a candidate and an explanation of why your candidate is a good fit, right? You're trying to sell them to the American public. So your candidate must embody your party's principles and platform stances. Again, it can be fictional, someone you know, famous, a cartoon character, but it has to be appropriate, okay? And then for your explanation, you will talk about why your candidate is a strong candidate for your party. How do they showcase what your party stands for? Why would and why should people vote for them? Those are the kinds of things you need to include on your project, okay? So again, this is a really good resource for you guys. It really outlines everything that you need for your actual project, okay? Now, you'll see that once you've got all of your ideas, now it's time to actually choose your web tool and get started, okay? You've got your ideas. Let me go back to the original project document. Step 2, once you've brainstormed and kind of got your ideas out there, is to choose your format to create your project. So I've given you guys a choice this week because I know some of us are a little bit more creative than others, and that's totally okay. So you are going to choose one of these. Oops, yeah, of course, there we go. You're going to choose one of these 4, if I can count, projects. One, you only have to choose one format to create your project. So as you can see, you can create a Google slide. You could create an infographic or poster for your political party using Canva. You could create a mind map or digital poster on Google Draw. And if you're really not into doing one of those things, if you like to maybe talk about things instead, you could create a campaign video almost and discuss your political party on our Flipgrid classroom. So I've linked in Flipgrid in our password here. Okay. Now, something to note, guys, is no matter what, your project, no matter which one of these 4 things that you pick, your project should be neat, easy to read, clear, visually intriguing, if you choose especially one of these 3 top ones for voters. And make sure that you include all of these components and really everything that is on this brainstorming document, okay? Now, once you have created your either your presentation, your infographic or poster, whether that's Canva, Google Draw, or you record your Flipgrid, what you are going to do, and this might be new for some of you, is to turn your project into Google Classroom. You must turn your project into Google Classroom. Do not, for the love of all that is holy, email me your assignment or share your assignment with me. I am receiving like hundreds of emails a day, and the last thing I would want would be for your project to get lost in my emails and you to have a missing assignment, okay? So please upload it to Google Classroom, okay? If you're not sure how to upload something to Google Classroom, if you've never done it before, I have a video that I have linked here as well as in Classroom that will show you how to do it. It's like 20 seconds. Mrs. Pavely put it together. So it is very, very quick. It's easy, and that is there as a resource for you. Okay. Now, the other question that you probably have is, how am I going to be graded on this? And I have a very basic outline of a rubric down here. This is a very, like I said, basic outline of what you're going to be graded on. I will be updating the rubric by the middle of the week and making sure that that is posted to this assignment in Google Classroom. I want to redo the rubric just because, you know, your slide presentation is going to be graded differently than an infographic, and that's going to be graded differently than your Flipgrid if you choose to do a Flipgrid, right? For example, in these 3, I'm going to be looking at, is it clear? Did you put effort in? Did you include images? Is it visually appealing? But that's going to be different than a Flipgrid, right? Because you're discussing. So in your Flipgrid, do you have all of the necessary components? Do you speak clearly? I can understand you, that kind of thing. Okay, so I will put the rubric into Google Classroom by midweek. So those are your resources. I want to head back here. Again, as you can see, I've uploaded that like 20-second video on how to upload an assignment. And then this is the final thing that I want to leave you guys with. This is a definitely more open-ended assignment. So you guys are going to definitely need to take advantage of office hours this week, okay? First, be creative. Have fun with this project. I look forward to seeing what you guys are doing, but I do understand that this is a lot more critical thinking than I'm asking for in weeks past, okay? If you in any way, shape, or form are stuck, if you don't know how to complete this, if you are confused on anything, you need to reach out and take advantage of office hours, okay? You may need, as I said, a little bit more help this week than you have in weeks past. I am available Monday through Friday from 9 to 11 and 1 to 2 on Google Meet, okay? The links, as I showed you before, are up here. Hop on in, ask me a question, okay? You need to make sure that you are reaching out to ask questions on this project, okay? All right, so to sum up, guys, everything that you need to include on your project is listed here, and I have given you that brainstorming document to think through what is expected on the project and to jot down some ideas. I've also given you resources on some sample platform issues to pick from, as well as the video on how to attach everything to Google Classroom. So if you guys have any questions on the project this week, please make sure to reach out during office hours, especially coming into Google Meet if you can. If not, sending me an email. I'm really looking forward to seeing your projects this week, and maybe potentially getting a new candidate for 2020 that I could vote for. Just kidding, you can't do that. It's not an official party yet, but maybe it will be someday. So if you guys have any questions, let me know, and have a wonderful night. See ya.